Multiply 2 plus the square root of negative 75 times 3 minus the square root of negative 27. First thing we will do is simplify these radicals. We have the square root of negative 75 and the square root of negative 27. Let's simplify each of these using the imaginary unit I. So the square root of negative 75 is the same as the square root of 75 times the imaginary unit I. 75 is 25 times 3. And so that's square root of 25 times square root of 3 times I. And I will write this as 25, square root of 25 is 5. I cannot simplify the square root of 3 any further. I have the I. So I will write this as 5 root 3 times I. Similarly, the square root of negative 27 is the square root of 27 times I. And 27 is 9 times 3. And so that's the square root of 9 times the square root of 3 times I. So that's 3 root 3 I. So then equivalently, I now have 2 plus 5 root 3 I multiplied by 3 minus 3 root 3 I, where I is the imaginary unit. Applying the distributive properties, or the FOIL concept, however you want to think of it, this gives me 2 times 3 minus 2 times 3 root 3i plus 5 root 3i times 3 minus 5 root 3i times 3 root 3i. Simplifying this, we now have 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 3 times root 3 is 6 root 3i, so minus 6 root 3i. 5 times the 3 is 15, so plus 15 root 3i. Now here's the trickiest one. Let's see. Minus, we have a 5 times a 3, that's a 15, and I have a root 3 times a root 3, that's a root 3 squared, and then I have an I squared. Now here's where we have to be very careful. Square root of 3 squared becomes a 3. I squared, recall by definition, is negative 1. So I now have 6. I can combine these like terms, plus 9 root 3i, and simplifying this last term, I have a negative 15 times 3 times negative 1. So that's a plus 45. And so then it simplifies in standard form as 51 plus 9 root 3